Hello everybody, welcome to this playthrough for Pro and Expert Division with various type of wind here for the Night Sky Tournament in Golf Clash the game. Video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content for free. Last but not least, get Ultimate Tournament Guides or the website Access Pass on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link directly in the description down below. Can we get this video up to 300 thumbs up? That would be amazing and I would be very thankful for that. Info box. There we have it. On the right hand side, club distance adjustment with elevation adjustment combined with what ball and club type I do suggest you to play with. Have in mind that you don't need to follow my suggestions, but there is always a plan behind it. But enough talking about that, and let's go to hole number 1. For hole number 1, we're gonna go on the right hand side. This because we are looking to do a rough bump by the green, which is going to up our percentage when it comes to the eagle massively. Maximum distance plus 10, and I'm using max top spin, max side spin to the right, and we're then in the end gonna use half a ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the right. And the reason we are using curl is that we still need to push the ball more right, otherwise we will risk going into the rough there on the left, and if we do that, then it's gonna be just a fight to save the birdie. Getting it down to 365 yards. Now, we do have a grizzly, and here the grizzly is going to be played somewhere between medium and maximum distance. It is very important that you do measure your club distance before you're taking your shot. And here I'm using, in this case, as you can see, close to 4 bars of topspin, and then we do have some side spin to the right as well. This rough bump is a very nice one, but make sure that you do pack a club that do have, first and foremost, 4 bars of topspin minimum. And then we do have the second of all, we do need to have a good ball guideline. So the grizzly would be the best one to choose here, but next after that it should be the Goliath. Lucky drop here with a great right means that I did over adjust my shot here, and we really need to focus and get the correct adjustment. This could be a very simple drop if we just get our numbers correct. For hole number 2, I'm going to use my sniper once again here. Sniper is a very common club on par 3s. And here I'm using the fairway to bounce towards the pin. I'm leaving the ball guideline to go through the hole, approximately 2 green squares in this video here, but you will notice that that is a little bit too little. The difficult part here for this par 3 is to find the same landing spot all the time, as we don't really have that many references to work with. I will, however, though, recommend you to maybe start with a power 0 or a power 5 ball, try to find min or max distance depending on wind angle to be able to find the same starting point all the time. Great left did not help, lose distance and also lose direction. Otherwise, playing this one with a medium distance plus 20 to maximum distance plus 20, depending on what type of wind angle we're gonna have. So I would say in a crosswind or a tailwind, medium distance plus 20 would be correct. When it comes to a headwind like we had on the video, maximum distance plus 20 would be more correct. When it comes to a rough bump, we can go for a rough bump. I would, however, recommend to go for a rough bump if we do have a straight tailwind or a straight headwind, because then it would be easier to control. A wind 4 or a wind 5 ball with a rough bump would be, however, recommended, as you do want to reduce the wind as much as possible for the best possible effect. Tough par 3, but definitely a makeable hole-in-one. For hole number 3, we're gonna go straight forward with our drive. Unfortunately, the tailwind is too little to be able to reach over on the right, so please do not attempt that if you're not having at least a 9 mile per hour straight tailwind to go over there. Max top spin, max side spin to the right, and you can see that I'm aiming on the left side of the rough. The thing that I will be doing here is that I will be adjusting maximum distance plus 10. Once that is done, I'm gonna push my club up to max again. Don't forget to use curl, as we are already aiming too much to the left, so I'm using half a ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the right. If you want and can, you could be going with overpower here as well. The thing that we're looking to not be is just before the tree, and that is very, very close to be just before the tree, ladies and gentlemen. So here it would be better if we use a click of overpower, so we do not have to play this close to the tree. It's just so unnecessary, in my opinion. Now we do have wind coming right to left, and we do have a lot of side spin, so it's not gonna be any danger, but obviously we do want to play, completely risk-free when there is, one tree. It's not that there is 10, there's one. So we just need to stay away from that by making the drive a little bit better. Maximum distance plus 10 for the second shot as well, and then we are going to adjust directly at the pin. Have in mind that this second shot is fairly inconsistent, as there is a lot of bumpy parts on the fairway before the green, and it's very hard to get any consistency with this one whatsoever. Coming in just to the right there, close to an albatross, but good speed. Kingmaker or katana, because the side spin could be very valuable, but if we do have a tailwind or a crosswind for the drive, the katana is enough. Headwind, go with a kingmaker to make sure you have the power enough for the second shot especially. For hole number 4, I'm going to attempt to go for a rough bump and a roll towards the pin. You can see that we are in between clubs when it comes to playing with tailwind here to go for the rough bump by the green, so I would not recommend to go with that shot if you're not having at least a crosswind with your shot, because going in between clubs and having to go with underpower is going to be very difficult. So I'm going 4.5 bar topspin here and as much side spin to the left possible, changing around a little bit when I'm noticing that we actually have tailwind. 3.5 bar topspin, max left spin, and you see I'm having the red ring by the bunker with the ball guideline to be pin high. Okay? Adjustment from here is going to be medium distance plus 40, and I'm using a curl that is the left side of the ball to be just outside the adjustment ring to the left. And you see here the ball hits the rough nicely and it has a perfect speed towards the pin, but the direction is wrong. We need a little bit more to the left there. So either we move our target a little bit more from the start to the left or we add more curl. This is a tough par 3, especially if we do have tailwind and cannot go for the rough bump. If we do have a headwind or a crosswind, I would however recommend, especially in a tournament situation, to go for the rough bump by the green. For hole number 5, we're gonna use as much topspin possible here, in this case 6 bars, and I'm using as much left spin possible as well. Adjustment is gonna be max plus 10, and once we have done our adjustment, we push up to max. Using half a ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the left with around 2 rings of overpower. If you do have a headwind, you do need to go with max overpower, and I would strongly recommend you to choose a power 3 ball instead of a power 2 ball if that's gonna happen. In a crosswind, I would recommend to also go power 3 ball, or you're gonna have to add more overpower with your drive. Second shot is going to be played medium distance minus 10, and now we're looking for a little sticky spot that we do have there. Most importantly though, ball guideline to the hole. We are looking with the grizzly to have the second bounce to be approximately 1 green square into the green, and then ball guideline to the hole. That's a perfect spot to work with here. Medium distance minus 10%. Have in mind that you need to check your club distance depending on where you end up with your drive, and then obviously we take our shot. We're playing uphill, the ball is affected less by the wind, and we love that roll right at the pin for a nice eagle here for hole number 5. For hole number 6, I would however recommend you to play with the big topper if you have the possibility. And the big topper is then going to play in between mid and max distance with no elevation. If you do play with an Apocalypse, Extra Mile or a Thor's Hammer, you will be playing medium distance of your club with no elevation, as then you do have more power than the big topper. Have in mind that you want to leave yourself a little bit of room by the rough there, especially in tailwind, as the ball has a tendency to carry too far on this specific hole. Adjust, then we're gonna take our shot, and as you can see here, we do have use a max topspin here, and the ball travels away, and we're looking to get this ball as far down the fairway possible without obviously going into any sort of rough or sand. Now for the second shot, we're looking to just get the ball to green. I need to be realistic here and say that getting an albatross here is going to be very difficult, especially because they have put that little bunker on the right there being in the way, as if we're not playing with the absolute closest line there, we will fall down into the bunker or we will miss on the left side of the pin. Here I'm using the horizon to make sure that I do have topspin, because it's not every time we do have the power to reach down the fairway as we're doing now. Then we're going to have to bounce before the rough and use all the topspin we have to get to the green, and that's why the horizon or the big dog is the clubs to suggest here. Using a little topspin, side spin there, getting it up to the left to fall down towards the pin. Once again, if I can get a putt like that, I'm going to be very pleased, as this is a very tough par 5 where we'll see many players struggling, and therefore the eagle is going to be almost as an advantage of others that will struggle in getting it. For hole number 7, we will be attempting a rough bump with no matter what type of wind we're gonna have. In this case, we do have a crosswind and a headwind together, and I would consider this one to be the most favorable wind for the hole-in-one that we do have. Here I'm using backspin and a little bit of side spin, and having the ball guideline to just go one green square through the hole. And the reason I'm having it through the hole is due to the headwind. If I wouldn't be having headwind, I would be having the ball guideline to the hole. Adjustment is going to be medium distance plus 10 is what we're gonna do. So mid plus 10, and then we're going to attempt to hit perfect. Ball is hitting the rough nicely, and it comes with a perfect speed right at pin, right a little bit to the left of the pin, but it also felt that we did slightly over adjust the shot a decimal there. In the end though, navigator, ball, sniper, mid plus 10, it's absolutely money. This is the best chance for us by far to get an hole-in-one on any of the par 3s in the Night Sky tournament. For hole number 8, we're gonna go on the left side if we do have the wind for it, meaning that if we just have a minor headwind or a crosswind or a tailwind, we're gonna attempt to go directly over to the fairway on the left. It's gonna be a tough drive because it's hard to get the drive to stop on the fairway, especially in tailwind. Using 6 bars of topspin, max side spin to the left. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance plus 10. If you do have a crosswind or an angled tailwind, make sure you push up to max after you have made your adjustment. Left side of the ball, just outside the adjustment ring to the left, and then we're going to hit perfect. At least that is the plan to do so. The ball will bounce into the rough or either directly over the fairway, over to the fairway, or bounce into the rough and roll out. I do think there is a real benefit from bouncing into the rough and roll out to just give ourselves consistency when it comes to the drive, and it also makes us to stay away from using overpower. Second shot is going to be in medium distance of our club, many of the times with a short iron, and this is a very good chance for us to make a drop. I'm using the fairway before the fringe just because I do believe that that spot is more consistent than the fringe and the green. So I'm using the fairway before, aiming with somewhat, 0 to 2 bars of backspin depending on the wind angle, and then adjust medium distance, no elevation, and then it's time to take our shot. Obviously the plan here is to hit perfect, which in the end we do. And we will see this ball bounce on the fairway and then bounce and bounce and roll nicely right at pin for a lovely eagle here on hole number 8. Okay, so for the drive here on hole number 9, you will see me play with 6 topspin and as much side spin to the left possible with extra mile level 8. I would, however, recommend you to play with the rock or the apocalypse here, because we do, in especially these situations here, use a little bit more curl, and then we don't want to play with such a close margin here. I'm playing with a power 2 ball, which is katana, but I would like you to change to a kingmaker, and I'm going to explain why in just a bit. And here I'm adding almost 1 ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the left, and we're getting it nicely over the fairway. We do need to have 6 bars of topspin to make sure to 100% reach over to the fairway, but you're able to get over with less topspin as well, and that's why I'm suggesting the rock. The difference when you have less topspin is that you're gonna have to push the drive further up, and then you have less rough to cover when you're bouncing over. Apocalypse or the rock as a driver once again for the curl, but especially if you have the Apocalypse with 6 bars, which you do have in Apocalypse level 3 already, that's the suggested club to use as a driver. Now for the second shot, you will see me play with a Kingmaker instead, and the reason you will see that is because with a power 2 ball we will go too short. There is a rough bump that we can play here, but the rough bump here is pretty weird and has a couple of glitchy spots here. So either you go for the rough bump with the knowledge of that there will be some glitchy spots, or that you do go with a backspin shot towards the pin. And power 3 ball, once again, as you can see, we are very close to maximum distance. We also have a sniper level 10, which is the maximum level sniper. So if we do have a lower level sniper, a power 3 ball is an absolute must. And it's not wrong either to maybe play with a power 4 ball and even a power 5 ball to make sure we do have the distance. Minus 10% and maximum distance here. You can see I do over adjust my shot, coming in there at least for a safe eagle. If we can reach over the rough like we did here in this video with the drive, we will have a decent chance for an albatross for sure, as we can play with the sniper. But make sure you make an under adjustment as we're playing that one uphill, and the second shot uphill, and the ball will then be affected less by the wind. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Pro and Expert Division for the Night Sky Tournament with various wind here in Golf Clash. The game video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And a massive thank you for watching and good luck in your Golf Clash game.